This is the latest movie from Loreen Scafari, whose previous two movies I've enjoyed. The Middler wasn't great, but I didn't mind it either. It was sort of harmless. But I really liked Seeking a Friend at the End of the World with Steve Carell and Keira Knightley. And I will admit that she's the main reason I was curious about this one in the first place. However, the premise did look somewhat intriguing as well. And the story here is based on real events and a magazine article that came out a few years back. About this group of women, strippers actually, who decided to get crafty. They decide to put on their entrepreneurial hats and start making some real money. In ways that perhaps might not strictly speaking be completely legal. And the story is basically told in retrospect from the main character, recounting the story to a writer who's writing this article. And the movie essentially starts with Constance Wu's character getting a job at a new club, where Jennifer Lopez's character is sort of an old-timer, a veteran, the queen bee. And the two of them hit it off and start to bond, essentially becoming friends. Everything sort of goes from there as things slowly begin to escalate. And you know what, I haven't seen Jennifer Lopez in anything in quite a while, but I thought she was really good in this. She fit the role perfectly. However, I have to say I'm not completely sold on Constance Wu. I mean, she was fine in Crazy Rich Asians, and she's fine here too. But honestly, she hasn't really impressed me, and I don't think she was right for this role either. And as far as that goes, I think she fit the role in Crazy Rich Asians much better. Here though, I don't know, I really don't buy it, so yeah, I'm not convinced by her. But it's not like she ruined the movie or anything either, it's just she didn't do much to elevate it either. Meanwhile, I do think Lopez did. She was perfectly cast and did a really good job here. But unfortunately, the rest of the cast was also sorta forgettable. No one really stood out no matter how many familiar faces they tried to cram in there as cameos. So that aspect didn't really help the movie, and at the end of the day, I don't think it ended up being anything too remarkable. It was okay though, sort of passable, and from a technical perspective, it's a well-made movie. It looks really good, it's well shot, and there weren't really any glaring issues with it. And the story itself was pretty interesting, and there is potential for more here. However, I didn't think the pacing was phenomenal, and it was going for this, I don't know, The Big Short type vibe it seemed like, but it lacked energy. And that to me was the biggest problem, it just didn't flow and it lacked energy. I feel like it should have been a lot faster paced and a lot tighter, to really grip me and to keep me entertained throughout. And I wouldn't necessarily say I was outright bored at any point, but I was definitely teetering on the edge there multiple times. There were just a few sequences that didn't really do very much for me personally. And there's really only so much a constant barrage of pop songs and bearskin can do to help that. And I mean, this one definitely filled its quota for nudity, which I can't say I mind. And it does make sense considering the subject matter this movie deals with. However, if that's all there is, that's not gonna keep a movie afloat on its own. And I would say this one took on a fair amount of water, but did stay afloat just barely. Oh, and I will say that I appreciate the fresh angle it took to the 2008 financial crisis as well. That was definitely not an angle I had ever even thought about before, so kudos. But overall, I thought this was just sort of passable, but nothing all that great. However, would I recommend it? Not really, but hey, do whatever you feel like doing. So maybe give it a look, or don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic. And if you'd like, you can also support me on Patreon or PayPal through the links in the description. And as always, I appreciate you and thanks for watching.